All right. Good morning, folks. Welcome in. It's been a couple days. I had a couple people actually reach out over email and say, "Where were you the last couple days? I couldn't find your show." Well, Tuesday we had my dog had a medical condition, so we had to go take her to had like a 7:30 appointment at the vet, so I couldn't get her in, or I couldn't get the show in time. And then yesterday I just flat out overslept. It's been working a lot, and shit happens, right? You oversleep. So anyway, sorry about that. We'll do a show today. We'll do a show tomorrow. We'll catch ourselves back up. In the meantime, a couple of cool things or a couple of interesting things happened out here in the craps world in the meantime. And it's going to go back to a couple of points that I've been bringing up over the past month or whatever. And you'll notice that I'm talking a lot about my good friend Ken from Ken Knows Gambling a lot, because Ken's been putting a lot of content out, which is great. And I think he realized at some point that you can't put out 5 videos a day. YouTube will start YouTube's a weird thing. Like, YouTube will penalize you for all sorts of crazy shit, which you probably don't know. As watchers, you wouldn't know this, right? But me going live every day hurts my channel. My channel would grow faster if I just did what I'm going to do today, a little bit of a progression video. If I did like an 8-minute video on betting progressions and put it out there, it'd probably get 5,000 views. As it is, I'm doing a live show. We're going to do it together today. It'll get 500. Just the way the YouTube works. It does not. YouTube penalizes lives because they go too long. They can't put ads in them, all that kind of stuff, right? YouTube was penalizing Ken for putting too much content out. You put out a video every, 3 videos a day, you start saturating it, and YouTube stops recommending you, and that's what happens. You get kind of pulled down into the quicksand of YouTube. So it's a weird thing. Anyway, all that to say, I love what Ken was doing. I hate it for him that he can't go more often than he was, but whatever. I do like the fact that every day we kind of have this little back and forth going on, like, and with Waylon and with other guys too, where I can kind of respond to what I see out there. Ken's been working on this series with this strategy where he basically lays the 10 for $300, goes whatever 135 across, and then takes a couple of hits, up to 6 rolls, stops playing, sometimes lets the 7 burn on the 10, right? On the lay bet. Good little strategy. He's been kind of tinkering with it a lot live, which I think is good. What Ken does, and what I tend to do, is I don't make a proclamation that this is the greatest thing of all time and it's going to go 100-0, and then I show it to you once. I just don't do that, right? Nor does Ken. Matter of fact, Ken has said during that series, this sucks, I'm going to change it, or I don't like that, and he's modifying it as he goes. Final product at the end. That's kind of what I like to do as well. So I think he hit on something yesterday, which is great. And I think I want to hit on that today as well. And I'm going to use my duck and cover as the example, but it could be with anything, where strategies have multiple ways to live. They can be grinders, right? They can be profit generators, or they could be aggressive, right? And it's really about the mindset that you play the strategy with and how the dice happen to roll for you or the cards happen to come for you on a given day. I like strategies that aren't just rinse and repeat forever, because they need a certain set of conditions. That's why I don't like ladders. Actually, a ladder requires that you just do the same shit over and over again and let the math kind of work itself out with your bankroll. To me, I don't know. I just like having decisions, I guess, is what I'm saying. Anyway, we're going to do it today. We'll play some craps probably, and I'll give you a kind of a sense of how to build a strategy with the progression in it. I think the progressions are the way to go. I think progressions, positive or negative, I think betting patterns are the way to win. I think you catch streaks, negative streaks, positive streaks is how these games happen. You're going to chop most of the time. You're going to be in this weird world, but when you catch a bad run or a good run is when these things kind of take themselves on. So anyway, that's the plan. And like I always say, you should know that you can't win anyway, right? I don't care what Jimmy says. You're not going to go 500. No, nobody does. The math is against you. Variance is against you. You may have these great runs and then bang, it goes away, right? You can win $100, 100 times in a row and then lose 10K in one sitting. It happens. Matter of fact, we saw that with Ken and the retirement plan. They won 1,000,000 times in a row, and then all of a sudden, bang, 10 grand, right? It'll happen. You'll find that run. The casinos know this. And the reason why I say they will bankrupt you is because they don't really have a dog in the fight. They don't care if you lose your house or not. They really don't. They're supposed to, but they don't. But they have so much money, right? They are playing that long game. They're playing the long game where they will let 100 million people beat them for $100, right? And then they'll let 1,000 people lose $1 million each on the bad runs. That's kind of how they work, right? Math has a funny way of working itself out, and variance happens. That weird. Okay, I was talking to Alex at Casino Quest the other day, right? And you talk about things that'll never happen. Oh, if I'm Martingale, I'll never lose, right? He and Lauren both have had the same experience. Alex had a shoe once where he had 80 bankers in a row win in Baccarat. 80 bankers in 80. It was like 82 or 83 in a row. Can you imagine? Lauren was telling us she had the opposite. She had like 60 something players in one shoe. Now they weren't in a row in her shoe, right? But that kind of weirdness happens, right? And when that happens, okay, two things happen. Either people, in Lauren's story, the whole table lost money. That table made, on 60-something players in a row, that table made millions of dollars because people were lined up betting money against the player, right? Thinking that they got this game figured out. Lost their ass, these people. The casino knows that. They know that there will be weird variance. You may never see it. Jimmy may never see a variant where he loses. Luck. It's luck, right? You may see only variances where you lose. Also luck. The casino knows that. They will bankrupt your ass because they can withstand it. They can lose 100 million times. You realize that? They could lose $100 to 100 million people 100 times and still have enough money to take the next $10 billion from people. That's how they work. They have unlimited resources. You're not fighting a fair fight, okay? The only tools that you've got are your brain. Your bankroll, a little bit in these short runs can help you out. Everything else is on you. It's all a you thing, right? Your risk, your intelligence, your discipline. Can you leave when you're up? Because it's very rare to be up, right? Do you set goals and are you under control? Those are important things. It's all you got. It's your only tools in this battle, right? So anyway, I say this all the time. Watch YouTube all you want to, right? Ask yourself as you're watching other people and me do things, how does what you're seeing fit into this equation? Do you have the bankroll to do what that guy's telling you? Will your level of risk allow you to play that way? Do you have the intelligence to understand what you're seeing? Do you have the intelligence to understand what you're seeing? Know the good and the bad of it, understanding where the road bumps are. Do you have the intelligence for that? You have to really sit back and think about things, right? If you played that way, would you have the discipline to walk when you're up? If you brought $5,000 and you won $150, are you willing to walk? Now that is a question. That's a question that everybody here should say yes or no in chat right now, because it's very enticing to watch somebody go to their table on their YouTube channel and have 1 billion chips out there. And today we're going to buy them for $10,000 and now we're up 150 and we're out. 150 and we're out. Or $200 we're out. Are you going to do that? Do you have the giant fucking elephant balls to say, I bought in for $5,000 and I'm going to walk with 200 or 150 or 300? It's not easy. We make it look easy on YouTube because I just turn the camera off. Would you do that? Right? Cajun Craps, I do it regularly. Good for you. I think most people wouldn't. I think most people don't have the discipline. They don't let their emotions go off to the side. When you're in for $5,000 and you're out for 150 or $200, most people can't do it. Because most people look at $5,000 as a lot of leverage and say, I should make 1,000 out of my 5,000. I make 100 when I buy in for 500. Why not 1,000 for 5,000? Most people can't get that around their head that the 5,000 is a tool to get you the $200. Without these tenets, you can't succeed if you're going to play that way. You got to watch YouTube with a filter. You have to watch it and say, would all of this match me? Could I do it? If not, turn the channel. Go watch politics. All right, there you go. All right, let's jump in. And I really want to talk about this today. I want to talk about betting patterns. And you know, I love me some betting patterns. We talk about these things all the time, right? We talk about betting patterns on my show all the time. The 1-3-2-4, there's the 1-2-4-8, there's the 3-2-1, all these things with ladders. I think the only way, to me, The only way to consistently win at a casino is to have some kind of betting pattern that capitalizes on or handles, let's say the word is handles variance. That's the big thing. You got to be able to handle variance. Either capitalize on it or deal with it when it goes the other way. Betting patterns only you can't do it. You can't flat bet your way to victory. You can't do it. I don't care what people say. You cannot flat bet your way through variance because variance will get you. That's the whole way the casinos win. So why don't we go to my table and play around a little bit with some of these patterns? I'm going to show them to you again, but I really want to look at what somebody suggested over email, which is what do you do in a positive pattern? Okay, when you have a bad day, should you put a ladder of some kind in a positive betting progression? Let's take a look at the table and see what let's see what we can do. All right, I'm going to move my stuff out of the way here and bring out some chips. Now I'm going to use what color chips we use? We'll use greens today. We use greens. The color of the chip is a material, doesn't matter. I'm going to put them over here like so, and just for kind of demo purposes. Okay, we're not going to probably roll dice today. I just want to give you some ideas on how you construct a strategy these ways. I'll put my thing out here. We'll use the come as our betting area. Okay, and again, I may do some box number betting, but really, this is a way that we can look at how do people build strategies, right? And again, I'll look at the basic one first. Okay, let's put like put a couple $100 in the rack here. Okay, there's $200 in the rack. All right, let's just use $200 as our example. 8 units. Maybe we'll go 10 units. We'll go 10. 5 and 5 is 10 units. It'll be easy to count. Okay. Let's look first at a simple parlay system. Okay. Let's look at what a 1 unit 2-leg parlay looks like if it works. First things first, what happens if it works? Okay. If it works, we win a unit. I'll try to find where the light's not quite so bright. We'll go over here, right? We bet a unit, we win a unit, we parlay it, leave it out there. Then you win 2 units. And your net for that session is your money's back, for that series, your money's back, 3 units in profit. Now, if the system works, right? I say this all the time. If your move works, the move here, a little 2-leg parlay, wins you 3 units. That's what you have to know. Know that first when you're building a strategy. 1 unit parlayed with a parlay win nets me 3 units. Now, if those are red chips because you're playing at the $100 level, if they're green chips because you're playing at the $500 to $1,000 level, if they're black chips because you're playing at the $5,000 level, know that 3 units is what can happen if your thing wins. Now, that tells me right away how many times I can lose before I have to go up. If I want to do a negative progression, this tells me I can lose 3 times. Okay? Because I know if I try it once and I lose it, and I try it a second time and I lose it, if I try it a third time, on the third time, if I win and parlay it and I win my parlay, I will be back to even with a unit in profit. Okay. If I lose all 3 of them on the 4th one, if I win one and parlay it and I win my parlay, I'm back to even. I have 3 cracks. Pardon me. 3 tries at making a profit. I have 4 to get even. I can try a 1 unit base 2-leg parlay 4 times. I can lose 4 times and still be okay if it works, which means the only way to lose is if I go down 4 straight times. That's the only way to lose this thing. Otherwise, you're going to be okay. If you win any time in there, you win 2 in a row, you're going to be okay. Some people I've heard on YouTube say, well, shit, how could I ever lose? I heard a guy say that once. He did something. How could I ever lose? How could I ever lose? That's crazy, right? But what happens if you lose all 4? Well, now you lost all 4, right? So now there's no way to recover. The recovery of that base system is gone. This is where you might switch to a negative progression. This is where and again, you're going to have 5 units left in your rack. I think I miscounted. I have 6. Oh, no, I do have 6. We lost 4. We have 6 left. Now I have 3 chances right, to try and recover it. What does recovery look like? Well, remember, I would have lost 1, 2, I would have lost 1 4 times, right? I'm down 4 units. How do I get back 4 units pretty quick, right? What's the best way to do it? Well, if I go out with a 2-unit bet, okay, and the 2 units wins, I have 2 choices here, okay? If I parlay the win, so I have 4, I'll try and spread it out. So I have 4 units. If I do a straight up parlay, 4 units, wins 4. And what that means is I can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and be on my way to profit. Now I have 2 chances to get that 3rd and 4th unit. I bought myself 2 tries at the base level. If I ladder it straight up and do a full parlay, that's option 1, okay? Let's do it again. If I have 6 units left and I come out with 2 and I win, again, I'm laddered up. I'm level 2 after loss 4. I ladder up. I take 1 back and go to 3, right? I can get part of that initial, that second try back. Go to 3. 3, of course, wins 3. And if I catch my 2 in a row here, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and a unit in profit. Okay, so a straight up parlay. The lesson learned here is this: you can try it if there's 10 units. I can lose 4 in a row or 3 in a row. The 4th one can get me home. I can play base level 3 times. The 4th one gets me even. I need 2 in a row to win. Okay, that's the first lesson. The second lesson is if I lose the 4th one, I get 4 bad times in a row. It's bad variance. 4 losses in a row. I have 6 units left. I can go to 2 and I can run 2 units 3 times and be okay. Now, if I lose 2 and I lose 2 again, on my last set of 2, here's where we go, right? It's a win and a full parlay that goes to 8. That parlay wins. I'm still not even. 4, 6, 8. I have to do it again, but with 8 units left, I'm back in that world here where I can go back and regress to 1 and have a 1 unit parlay, 2 unit win, and I'm back in profit again, right? Knowing how your ladders work is important. When you build a ladder strategy, know that. Even at the very last one, if I ladder up to level 2 and I don't get all my money back, I can still be in the world where a 1 unit bet gets me my profit. You got to know how ladders work. If you're going to use a ladder, you got to really understand what happens in your rack as they happen. Now that's just a one leg parlay, just 2 wins in a row. That's the parlay. Now, other betting systems are a little tougher to manage. Okay, let's look at a 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, so again, that's going to be maybe 2 units per. Now you could be in the same spot where you never win the first bet. You might lose the first bet 4 times. But let me show you what happens when this thing works. Okay, 1, 3, 1 wins 1, and you power press. So you might have to put up 2 units. Okay, the power press wins 3. So if a 1, 3 happens to play out for you, and you come back to your rack, there's your initial money. That wins you 4 units. Okay, technically, you've got 4 cracks at it, but really 2. Because you have 4 times where you could lose the first bet, right? But twice, you could go for the parlay, right? That second leg parlay, you have, because it costs you 2 to get the parlay. So really, you've earned yourself 2 more bullets to get where you're going to be. But you've won 4. So you know this thing wins 4 just on the 1, 3 part of it. But if you're going to run the whole gamut, you're going to try the whole thing. The 1, 3, 2, 4, 1 wins 1. Power press to that, right? You get your 3. You regress down to 2, which means your money's back. You've got profit. You've got 2 out there playing. 2 wins 2. 4 wins 4. And you're out of here with a 10 unit profit, a doubling of your money. That would be the dream in a 1, 3, 2, 4. So if you're going to try for the whole 1, 3, 2, 4, the whole thing, and you're only going to walk if you get 4 in a row, you got to know that wins 10 units, which means you have 5 times. You have 5 cracks at 2 units, which is what you have here. I've got 10 units here. I can try the one with the press 5 times. If any one of the 5 cracks works, I'm going to win 10 units, even if it's the very last one. If I lost all my money, if I lost everything, and I'm down to my last couple of units, and I go out there with and go, God, this is I'm rail dumped. I got everything in, right? 1, right? Wins 1. You power press it, right? Your 3 unit wins 3. You come down to 2. Your 2 wins 2. Your 4 wins 4, and you're out. Guess where you are? You're back to square. Here's your 5. There's your 5. Let's put those together. And you have some profito. You can go 5 cracks in and still be okay if it works out. But you have to know that. Now, if you lose the whole thing, that's where I would call it, right? 5 cracks at potentially getting that 4 run. If you don't get the run, and 4 in a row is not easy to do, what do we do from here? Well, this isn't enough money. This is where we say we're underfunded, right? You can't do that with only 5 unless you're saying, well, I'm going to give it 5 cracks and that's all I'm going to give it, and I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to the blackjack table with, 150 or $250. We're going to give it a shot. We're either going to win 250 or we're going to lose 250. That's it. It's a double or nothing kind of a game. If you have the extra bankroll, when you lose this right here, that's when I would ladder it up. After I burned the first set, and again, I'm going to put it over here so we can see it. There's 5. There's 5. Your first set is 10 units. We'll put it in the back of the rack. This is our loss. Okay. Our second crack at that, we need 5 cracks at 3. Okay. So 5 cracks, and I'll use I love greens. 1. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So you're going to need 3 units to go out there, right? And what this looks like is this. You actually need 4. I'm sorry. My bad. 4. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. Okay. To do it as a ladder, now you need groups of 4. And groups of 4 look like this. So you had 250 back there, 350, 450, 550, 650, 750, 1,000. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 750 total. Here's the math on this one. All right. If I've lost my 500, I'm going to level up, and we're going to go with a 2 unit base instead of a 1 unit base. Now watch how fast I recover this. Okay. 2 units wins 2 units. I power press. Now I have 3 units, but it's 3 units of 2, right? Can you see it? 3 units of 2. When that 3 bet wins 2, 4, 6, guess what? I have 1 extra there, right? There's my 4 that I just put in. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 units back. Okay. I'm not quite recovered, but I'm 2 units away from being fully recovered, which means I can use this, and I have 4 chances. 1, 2, 3, 4 chances at the base level to do it again. And even if I get the 1 unit to win, 1, 3, guess what? We're back. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's my loss recovery with a win. Okay. When you're doing a progression and you get to the point where you cannot win what you've lost with the next full progression, you ladder up. It might just take 1 or 2 ladder rungs to get the whole thing done if you manage this properly. So when you're doing progressions, and I say, I'm going to go back a screen real quick just so you can, I want to go back here and just kind of talk through it with you. I need to go where? I need to go to Keynote, right? Me, right? Okay, there we go. If you're going to bet this way, a 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8. And I only showed you 1, 2. I didn't even go 1, 2, 4, 8. I just did the first 2 rungs in the first one, right? If you're going to bet that way, you got to know, what is its potential? That's how many cracks you get at it. When you lose that, what do I need a ladder to make sure that if it happens once or twice in the near future, I get back my loss and recover again? This is how you build a strategy. It's not like, you go and watch some magical YouTube video and go, oh, this is how we figure this stuff out, right? And again, this may be all wrong. What I'm doing down here, I'm going to go back to my keyboard or my table show. This may be all wrong. We may think this is stupid, right? But this is how you figure this stuff out. Okay, now let's do another one. Let's do another. Let's do this. I'm going to go with 3 units. 3 unit slugs. Here we go. I got to reset my rack here. Let's go with 3 6, 9, 12. We'll do 5, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 15 units. Okay. Nice and simple. Now watch this one. This is cool. This is a little 3, 2, 1 here. This is a reverse ladder. You're going to start at the top rung. You're going to look for 3 in a row or 2 in a row, depending. Let's look at what happens if it works. Let's go 3. Okay. So it's a big chunk of your bankroll, right? You got to remember, I tell you all the time, bet big to win big, right? If you're going to look for winning bigger unit amounts, don't be afraid to bet big unit amounts. Now let's go 3, wins 3. We'll take it down to 2 units. Now what happens is my 3's back plus profit, plus I've got leverage play. If I win the first bet, if I win the first bet, my money's back. I lock profit. I have 2 out here in the play. There's 2. Right? I go down to 1. I win 1, and I'm done. And what does that win me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Okay, so I win 6 when this works, which means I can try it twice. Right? I can lose 3. I can lose 3. Right? Now I'm screwed. Right? My third set of 3, if it works, I'll win back the 6. We know that. And that would put my rack back in order. If I lose that third one, now these have to be a little bigger. Now we get laddered up. And what I do with the ladder up on this one here is make these $35 each. What I really should have done is this. I really should have showed it to you this way. Here. These back in here become bigger. They really can't become full size, but they look like this. They look like $35 units. Like so. So instead of a quarter, it's 35, 35, 35 as your shots. You're winning back the extra 10 each time through. So you build up your ladders on the back end of this thing to recover, and that's how you do it. But you have to know out of the gate, how much can I lose before I can't win it back with my initial bet. In this case, I can lose 3. The fourth one can get me my original bet back. If I can't get it back, or I'm sorry, I can lose 2. The third one can get my original stake back. If I lose that one, that's the point where I trigger the ladder. And the ladder has to be a little bit bigger because I want to be able to get 6 units out of one of these rungs that recovers 9. So 6 has to recover 9 now, which is why we go to 35, 35, 35. Because those 10s add up and it starts recovering back 2 of these at a shot as we go. Okay. Again, that's how we build with ladders. You can go either direction. A ladder can work from the top down or the bottom up either way. Capiche? Hope that all makes sense to you. Now, that said, I'm showing you just units on a random table. This could be Baccarat, could be Blackjack, could be Red Black Roulette, could be anything, right? This works anywhere. These ideas work anywhere and everywhere. As an example, let's say you're a craps player, and let's say you're a really boring craps player, and you love, like I do, I love the number 5. I love betting the 5. The 5 and 9 are my favorite. I don't know why I love those numbers. Anyway, could this work on the 5? Okay. Again, Baccarat, you could lose 5 hands in a row, easy, right? What I'm looking at on the 5 is, can I win 2 5s before a 7? Right? Let's check it out. If I do this, right, on a straight up parlay, okay, if I win $35, look at some reds. If I win $35 and I push it up, right, that's the straight parlay that wins $85. It wins 84, but we'll pay it $85, right? And I come back and there's my original money, right, and $100 on that next one. Okay, the little 2-leg parlay on a number only loses the base bet if the 7 comes before the number comes twice. And you can do it, literally go to craps table and just play the 5, or just play the 4, right? The 4, you don't even have to bump it up. The 4 works even better. The 4, 1 pays 2, you can get your 1 unit back and do the parlay. And when the parlay happens, 2 4s before a 7, bang, 150 in profito. That's pretty good, right? The 6 or 8 work the same way. If you want to do a 1 3 2 4, it's going to cost you a couple, right? You're going to go with a 1 unit 5 that's going to win $35. You can drop your quarter, take 10. That's your 1 3. You're only in it for $15. You got a portion of your money back. You have a 3 unit swing for basically a $15 investment, right? And if that wins for a black chip and 5, guess what? You take it all back. There's your initial stake. There's $140 in profit for a 1-3 on one number. Okay. Betting patterns work everywhere on the table in every single game. It's just a matter of what do you want to do. Now, would I do that same move on every number all at the same time? Probably not. It's a little bit risky, right? Because you need something to win twice. But look at that. If you want to be simple, take a number, pick it, let it rock twice, and be done with it, right? That's a way to grind. So Ken's talking about on his show that sometimes you can grind, sometimes you can win, sometimes you can be aggressive. There's different points in time where that kind of a move makes sense. If I'm already up, if I've already made my, let's just pretend that I've got my goal already made. Let's say my goal was 250. Let's say that I've got my 250 locked up in my rack. There's my 250 goal. Here's whatever. There's my initial stake. And my 250, I'll lock it up. I'll put it over here. We're going to lock that up. And I got this extra money, right? This extra $100. This is the envelope aggressive conversation, right? If I've worked it out and I got my money back, I got my goal and I got $100. This could be in the excess envelope. This could go to pay bills. This could go buy my wife a ring. This could also go for a 1, 3, 2, 4 and the 5, right? Or the 4. You might even do them both at the same time. This is where you get aggressive, right? The grind that we just showed in the other patterns turns into an aggressive move if you're satisfied with the profit. You can be aggressive here. You can be aggressive with this money on Tuesday. It's excess. Doesn't matter when you use it. But that's when you turn that on, right? The casino hates this guy. The casino hates this guy. And even Jimmy even said it when he actually replied to me in chat. The casino hates him. If you're buying him for $5,000 and you're winning 250 and walking, they do hate you because they want to crack at the money. They want a chance to win your 5,000, right? This guy they can't stand. This guy they love, right? No matter when you're going to use that. All right, let me get out of here. Let's go back up and let's go here. Bang. Oh, wrong side. There we go. All right. How was that? Does that make sense, everybody? I hope I broke that down well enough. And you know what I'm probably going to do, if I'm smart as I say I am, what I should be doing is finding a way to clip out that little teaching part, making a website and selling it for $195. What do you think? That right there was gold right there, wasn't it? Wasn't that gold? I should sell that for $200. Make me some money. I'm not that guy. You guys can have it for free. That's how we do it. All right. That's, again, all the people who make strategies likely work it out like that. And then they go, let's make a video and teach it, or let's make a video and show it. This is what Waylon does. Waylon spends his entire day on his table doing shit like I just did and going, that's the one. I want to show that today. Worked it all out, did the math, figured it out. Boom, there's a strategy. Some people watch that and go, I'm going to rename it and call it my own. Whatever. That's the secret to it. That's how we get to strategies. That's how it all works. Hope that all was good for you. Let me see what we got here. Let me look at some of the questions. I'm going to run through here. Any questions? And there's some. Make sure, guys, that you put Q's. If you want me to address your question, make sure you put a Q in front of it. Otherwise, I'm going to miss them because the chats do go kind of flying by and I don't really see them all. So let's see. The longest streak. Louis says the longest streak I had was when I didn't go to the casino for 2 weeks. That's funny. I've been on this streak recently where I have been watching the variance. I've been watching such amazing rolls, like waiting to buy in, right? Because I'm trying to, obviously have etiquette, right? Waiting to buy in, watching 30 rolls go by. That's happened to me more often than I can count. Or I've gone to, played for a while, won a little bit, but gone to dinner, and as we're walking away, somebody goes off on a heater. I had this really weird relationship with variance right now. But yeah, it's pretty funny. 40 Crash says ladders are deceptive. That makes a player thinks he's the best in the world. I agree with you. Ladders, and again, when you've got, let me show you something. Give me a second here to set this up for you. When I've got this, okay, and I'm in my basement, which I am literally in my basement, and I've got this, right? Can you see this? And I've got 5 of them sitting over here. I got 5 of these things, right? I can buy in for whatever I want to. I can reset the bankroll whenever I want to. It's real easy to look good when you have unlimited house money. Okay? Real hard to do that, what I just showed you, with 5K at a real casino with your own money. It's very difficult to do. Very few people are built with the fortitude to do that. Okay? But yeah, ladders are deceptive. Be careful with laddering. I love ladders and I hate ladders because they're very deceptive. It feels like you can't lose until you do. And when you do lose, a ladder is 10x what a regular person would lose. So you've got to win 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 times more than you lose to make a ladder worth it. And to make that a thing, you got to have a lot of money. Ladders are a purely bankroll decision. And again, you got to be willing to say, yeah, I'm a 90% winner, but man, those 10% losses are soul crushing. You better have the bankroll to survive that. Very, very hard. YouTubers make it look super easy. It's not that easy. It just isn't. All right. Let's see. Victor says regress, same bet, press. Don't disagree with that. Right? If I do duck and cover, by the way, have you seen duck and cover, Victor? I know you have. Let me show you duck and cover. You guys have all seen this, right? And Victor, I'll give you the shout out here for what you just said, right? Duck and cover is this, right? In order, take a hit on a number like the 9 and regress it. That's the first move, is a regression on a number. The second move, when it wins, I'm going to pay it 15. It pays 14. We'll do 15 for 1. Then you power press it. Okay, what is a power press, by the way? If 10 wins 15, let's call it, again, 14, but we'll call it 15. This is a press, double the bet. If you add the whole win, that's a power press. Looks like 25. Then when you hit it again, now you have your decision. Now you can go to whatever you're going to do. There's your locking. There's your locked profit. That was your original bet, 60 in profit, 25 on the felt. Right? What Victor is saying is how duck and cover works. It's a regression. It's a power press. It's a collect. It's exactly how I play that way. Regress, power press, collect on a 5 or a 9. Look at the net. That's how we do it. Right? This is what separates the regular, oh my God, I'm getting my ass kicked player from somebody who's trying to make some actual money. This is the difference. This is how, I hate to say pros, but how pro level play looks when you follow a pattern. And that's a simple pattern, right? Regress, power press, same bet. Done. Right? I love it. That's awesome. All right, let's go back to the regular screen here, okay? Bang. What else we got? Back from the crew. Oh, you're plus 2,700 and the offer came. Isn't that great? It's kind of cool when you're on Royal. They give you the free cruise offer in your room. Like you come back from breakfast and there's like a sign on your door that says congratulations. That's pretty awesome. We actually may try Carnival. We had a rough time on Royal this past time. We may try Carnival. Considering it, although I've heard Carnival is very hit or miss in terms of vibe and energy. So, all right. 40 craps. YouTubers can ladder, place bet, and quit when they're up for sure. And again, YouTubers are making shows, right? Sometimes they're teaching, sometimes they're making entertainment. You got to separate the fly shit from the pepper there. Am I learning something? Or am I being entertained? Two different schools of thought there for how you watch things. So there you go. Let's see. Why do I assume every flat better? The reason why flat betting can't work. And I say flat betting can't work because variance gets you. The only way to get out of variance is to press or ladder. The only way. If you flat bet forever, the house edge will just eat you up. That's the math of it. The house edge is based on flat betting. It's what it's for, right? It's if you flat bet, you will succumb to the house edge. If you press out of it, you can surpass that. You're still paying house edge on the wins, but you're overcoming it. I did a spreadsheet a while back where I showed what house edge looked like over time, where, if you're betting the 5, let's say for $10, and we know that a $10 5 pays 14, it should pay 15. So that $1 is the house edge effectively, right? When you win the 5 100 times, that's $100 that you're giving back to the casino. That's how they make their money. And I can show it to you again someday, right? That's what it is. And if you flat bet forever, you will eventually lose all your money because of that. It's a weird thing, but that's what happens. Even if you win, you lose. You have to press out of it. You have to overcome those dollar VIGs that you're paying to come out ahead. And the only way to do it is to either A, win more often than you lose, or B, or often than you should, or B, press up to overcome some of that. So if you win a doubly pressed bet, it recovers 3 previous losses or a little more than that. So you have to do that, or 3 previous VIGs. Have to do it. You just have to. All right. Let's see. Built-in recovery. Yeah, you got to build the recovery in, and you got to know. As I showed you, I can lose this thing a few times. I know that on the 4th one, if it works, I'm going to be back to square. Know that that's your number, and then that's the trigger to ladder. Don't just jump into ladders. I see people who build ladder strat. They just jump into ladders right away. And it's like, no. The move you're doing, if it works, it wins X. That's your point. When you can't win it with your regular play, then the ladder triggers. And I think it's an important thing. So, yeah. So the KKG pyramid. Yeah, I saw you put the duck and cover in there. And it's a good thing, right? It's like when you're up, what can you do? You can turn into a duck and cover, which is a regression and then an aggression. It's a regress to aggress kind of thing after you've pulled the move off, but not before. It's a great deal. Yeah. Let's see. All right. I'm just missing this. But I am saying 4D this. I understand the strategy. What I'm saying is if every bet you make is flat, the casino will bleed those bets dry. That just, even if you have perfect hedging and good rhythm, the horseman's a great example. My hedgeless horseman is a flat betting strategy, and I love it. It's 2 units don't, couple of come bets, right? It's a flat betting strategy. You play it for too long, you will bleed that thing dry. You've got to play that thing aggressively. After a minute or so, either you walk with your profit or you level up the bets up again to take advantage of it, because you have to overcome the bleed. The horseman has plenty of offense. You just don't know how to play the horseman. The horseman's got as much, if not more, offense than any other strategy because it converts, right? On a good roll, that thing converts and has you keep playing. But you got to play the horseman like a pro. You can't just go out there with 5 units and run for the hills. You got to play it as an ongoing thing. I won 10 grand with the horseman in Reno a few years back. It's how it works. You got to play it smart. You got to play it smart. You can adjust that strategy into something else once the first move works. All these strategies to me are 1-move strategies. The 1-3-2-4, the 3-2-1, the horseman, duck and cover. It's all about the first move. That's the strategy. After that, it's betting patterns. And I hope that makes sense. Every strategy is the initial move. Everything after that is a betting pattern. Hope that makes sense. I'm out of here, guys. I got to get to work. 8:15. Good timing. And again, in chat, give me a thumbs up. Should I cut this video apart and sell it for $200? Do you think I should make a website and sell it for $200? What do you think? Can I make it members only? No, I'd never do that to you guys. Love y'all. God bless. Bye.